So, Jeffrey, go ahead.
Prime Minister, do you support Cyril Ramaphosa's decision yesterday to release the official final declaration of this summit in the opening session,
Yes,
despite objections from Argentina and the United States, and despite the fact that the U.S. was calling for only a chair statement at the end?
Well, I was in the opening session, yes, I very much supported it. And let me give the context. The G20, these meetings, the actual meetings, are very important. The discussions in the room, as much as the bilateral series of bilateral meetings, some of which I just described. But it's also a very broad process that takes an entire year, with a series of ministerials, environment ministers, trade ministers, natural resource ministers, ministers on artificial intelligence, and beyond. And those processes lead to a series of conclusions. There's also outreach from labor, from business and beyond that also feeds into those conclusions. And then led by our Sherpa, Cindy is here, I hope, who's done an outstanding job, also our G7 Sherpa, a series of negotiations which come up with this consensus document. That document's there. We support it. The others around the table supported it. No one objected when it was put to the table. Obviously, the United States is not here, so the United States isn't party to that consensus. But that is a consensus, and I'll finish here, which represents governments representing 3/4 of the world's population, 2/3 of the world's GDP. That consensus, that statement has weight.
Just as a follow-up, do you think the U.S., Donald Trump's decision to completely boycott this summit is doing any damage to multilateralism as a concept?
Look, I think that the decision of when you include guests that were invited by the chair, a series of countries, including, for example, Jamaica in our hemisphere, Finland for other reasons, countries that were invited beyond the core members of the G20 as well as international organizations. We have 60, I believe, we can double check the number, 62 leaders around that table. And that's multilateralism. And the job, I look at it more from who shows up, who engages, who does the work, and who builds. And Canada shows up and Canada engages. And I think collectively we've made a lot of progress. Now, I'm not going to oversell it because there are big challenges to multilateralism. We all know that. And the nature of that is in flux. And in fact, that will be the topic of the formal session this morning, is where does the G20 go from here?
Next question.